I'm going to try to describe something that I see that's very difficult to put into words. In truth, you can only really experience it. So, first, you have to start off with the recognition that everything is a vibration. Everything. Your center of consciousness is the center of your vibration. Those vibrations make all sorts of connections to other vibrations nearby. Those intersecting waves. Those are like instances where two people interact in some way. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that you're even consciously aware of. You walked by somebody on the sidewalk, or maybe you actually stopped and talked to somebody. Now, once you kind of get that visualized or conceptualized in your head, you almost have a map. And this is what the people that can honestly give a reading or spiritual advisory or whatever you want to call it, that's what those people actually tap into. It really is there, and the way I just put it is a apt description. There really is no way to define it because we don't have the words to define it, really. You're talking about vibration and frequency, intersecting waves, the height, the frequency, the intensity, all these things essentially play crucial roles in how we experience life. I don't know how to describe the distance between the waves because this is where things break down. There's got to be a quantum level to it. Now, there's plenty of scientific new discoveries showing that, our minds or our brains are capable of creating and collapsing quantum fields. Now, in our current science, this sounds amazing, stupendous, all this. It's something that's been around for longer than our science. It's not going to be able to be defined by our science because our science came second. We can describe what it was already there before humans even came into being, before language came into being, before we can describe it, but we will never be able to define it. So if you really look at everything that I've just said, I have painted a very clear picture on how every individual on the planet is essentially their own soothsayer. The reason why people aren't able to essentially soothsay for yourself, well, take a radio, send the same frequency back at the radio. What happens? Interference. It only works with the things around you, the things you can observe. If you really think about it, you can never truly observe yourself. You can look in a mirror, you can look in a camera, you can take a picture and look at that. You can have somebody draw you, but you'll never be able to look at your own face. Sounds silly, sounds ridiculous. There's purpose, reason, and function to all of that, as simplistic and ridiculous as it sounds. These are the things that I'm always aware of, that I look around at the world around me and I try to point it out and I get brushed off, and then I watch the person that I tried to help essentially tear themselves apart because they didn't understand what it was I was saying. And that's the only real reason. Lack of understanding. So why do you think I get so uptight with people's ignorance? The act of ignorance. Not the things that, you couldn't have the chance to know, but the things that you had the chance to question and you didn't take the responsibility to question. I've questioned and questioned and questioned and questioned and questioned. I never stop. People say, well, that's doubting yourself. No, that's discovering yourself. If we never asked ourselves as babies while we were growing up, what are these things down below? We probably wouldn't learn to walk. Do you get it yet? Growth comes from questioning. And it's not questioning the things that are obvious, that are right in front of your face. If something blows up and now you're questioning, it's already too late. If you can see the effects, the question's too late. It's not too late for later. I'm going to throw in another concept. It blends in. I don't know how to tie it together, but if you pay attention to what I'm saying, you'll be able to recognize how it fits. Chess. Don't think of the pieces and the way they move and all that. I mean, yeah, there's all sorts of different things that can happen. I want you to focus on one thing. How many moves ahead can you see? And I don't mean just taking one piece and looking at, okay, this piece can move this way, and this way. No. I'm talking about, okay, you made a move. What are the different moves that your opponent can make? Now, what are the things that you can do after the different things that they did? Now you've got all sorts of branching scenarios, and that's just 2 moves ahead, 3 moves ahead. Now you're seeing your move after the opponent has moved 3 different times, and how many different choices can be made. You're seeing the entire tree of branching possibilities. Apply that to vibration and the connecting frequencies. Think of vibration in an orb sense, not a circular. Crucial. I don't even know how all of it ties together there, because time and space in some instances becomes obsolete, while in others are excruciatingly important, and usually in some of the ways that you would never think of. And that's where butterfly effect comes into play. Anyway, that's starting to get ahead of myself, though. That's advanced. This, what I'm saying here, is kindergarten. This is the way I've seen the world since I can remember. Because I've been able to see this, it has brought more pain than anything else, because not only can nobody else see it, nobody else can comprehend this. No matter how many times I try to describe it, no matter how many times I try to point out examples, nobody gets it. At least nobody that I can talk to directly. These are the people that I'm looking for, but at the same time, the people who understand the message that I just gave you are the exact same ones that I don't want to come to me, even though I want them around me. It sounds crazy, right? But you're also the ones that has the greatest chance of being able to affect the world around them in the way that's necessary. If I'm already in a given spot, it's a little bit pointless to utilize what could wind up being combating frequencies somehow without us quite realizing it, to try to help in one spot. So even though I would love to say, hey, everybody who understands this message, come and find me, seek me out, and all that. Okay, yeah, great, whatever. Don't. Hit me up, sure. Send me a message. I can't guarantee I'll get back to it. I've been really shoddy on that lately. But I need you to find where you vibe best, if that makes sense. The more you amplify your frequency in an area that is more or less void of frequency, the more you bring the frequencies that have no current structure. Basically, it's like static. The more you can bring those frequencies into balance, and then you have a chain reaction, because now everybody that has balanced themselves properly has the same power you do. Do you get what I'm saying yet? Doesn't matter what government's involved, doesn't matter what people are involved. Anything that opposes this will fail. It's not something that anyone can control. Not on this planet. This is something that will overtake the planet because of the individuals that choose to have it. This is something that will provide for everyone, not just one individual who has to fight some other individual in order to be able to get what they need. This is something that will eventually bring world peace. And without needing to combat governments, will abolish all governments. Won't even have to notice it. It just walks in and takes over. There is no resistance. I think you can kind of see now that the message I'm bringing, this isn't something that I could have concocted. I saw and understood this at 4 years old. I know this because I had a discussion with my dad at that young of an age, dealing with things like this. I know that I knew that before the time that I spoke with him, with a clarity. above pretty much everything else, it also made it difficult for me to learn how to speak. But I did figure out how to walk pretty quick. When you start vibing right, you'll learn more about yourself. You'll learn more about how you connect with the world around you. And by learning your connections, you will learn the world around you. You will never be able to learn the world around you by looking out at the world. Those are some of the most powerful things that I could possibly say right now, I think. It feels right. Needed to say it to somebody, so I guess I'm saying it to whoever's listening. Rising Angel signing off.